Getting a new pet is a very exciting process. The whole new life enters your realm, and along with all the love, they also require regular health checks. Now, many of the health checks you can actually do yourself at home. Now, we have Dr. Fyvie in studio to show us how you can keep your new family member healthy and happy. Guy, it's good to have you back on Expresso.
Thank you very much, Zay.
Now, when we do these self-checks, why is it so important?
I think the important thing is that you can find out if there's something going on early, so before something serious happens. And the other very important thing is that what you observe and what you can see can also help your vet make a proper diagnosis.
So what are the things we need to observe or physically feel?
Right, so we can split it up into two things. I think the first is observation. I think that's really the most important. And it's more about looking at what the animal, what its habitus is. Is it happy? Is it unhappy? Is it nervous? Is it depressed? That's the one thing. The other one is to do with food, and that's a very big indicator whether your animal is happy and healthy or not, whether they're eating and are they eating the same amount, and are they drinking any more or any less, because that's important. Going with the food, obviously, then is the feces, the poo. What does it look like? Yeah. Is it normal or is it abnormal? Again, something like constipation. If you're not checking on that, you would never know that your dog was constipated, and that can be a big issue. The other important aspect of all of this, and before you start looking at your animal and when it's a little kitten or puppy, is to make sure that you habituate it to what you need to do. So that it gets used to the idea that you are going to open its mouth, you are going to look into its eyes, and so on.
Okay, so, and how often do we have to do these checks?
Basically, probably once a month, looking in the mouth and making sure everything's fine, is good enough.
So are we going to see on Bassie some of the physical checks you can do?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the first checks is essentially just to feel the whole body and make sure that there are no lumps and bumps. Also important to look for external parasites like ticks and fleas. That's something that you will be seeing. And then look at the hair and the coat and the skin and make sure that is healthy. Right. Then if we start at the head, check in the ears, and Bastian's pretty easy to look in the ears, make sure they're nice and clean. From the inside, then there's nothing coming out, they're not scratching. So look into eyes need to be clear, and if there's, with no mucus, no sort of blue tinge to them. You should be able to check in the mouth and see what's going on with the teeth, and go back, make sure you go right back to the back teeth to see that they're nice and clean, and he really does have very nice clean teeth. The other thing to look at in the mouth is the gums, nice and pink, and if they're pale, then that could indicate some conditions. If they're any other color, then that could be a problem.
Okay.
And then obviously go over their paws, check for any pain, and then obviously look at the toenails and make sure that there's nothing going on there as well.
Okay, so we're going to shift the attention from dogs to cats. So while Bassie goes and plays, we'll bring in the little kitty cat, little Lily. And what are the signs and symptoms we need to look out for when doing checkups with them?
Well, little cats, they're a little more difficult than dogs to usually check up. So it's also a good idea when they're little kittens to touch their faces and look in their mouths and stuff. Generally, the issues they get is respiratory problems and eye problems. So you've got to watch out and make sure that they don't have gunk on their eyes or that they're not sneezing.
Okay.
All right, that's usually the biggest problem. And then obviously make sure that they're getting enough food because they are generally quite thin as well. But just make sure that they are putting on weight. I think that's the most important things.
Oh, she wants to go. That's absolutely, little adventurer. Yeah. Oh, perfect. So it's very similar to what you can do with a dog. And absolutely. If you have any other pets, you can also keep that in mind for these checks.
Sure. I mean, I think the important thing that we need to remember is that the checks that we're doing is so that we can make a proper diagnosis from the veterinarian. And it's all about looking what's changed. So if something's different, then there's a problem.
Well, Guy, thank you so much for sharing those tips with us on how to do our own checkups. You know what? By doing these checkups regularly, you could be preventing major problems from affecting your pet, ensuring a long and healthy life for our pets.